Now we're going to create our layers of paint. Now, first of all, we're going to create a new layer. And we're going to hide everything underneath, apart from the concrete texture in the background. Now, rather than explain how the paint is created, I will show you how to do it and then explain it later. You click on Fill, make sure your tolerance is set to 30, click on Anti-Alias and click on All Layers. And somewhere in this image you want to find a medium grey that's used quite a lot throughout the whole image. So we'll pick one there. Now you see what's happened is it has filled in that layer every instance of that colour according to the tolerance level, which is set to 30. And anything that is too high or too low is left out. So that's how we do the paint, and this is how we get the gaps to make it look edged. So we'll just undo that, and we'll pick a colour for our first layer of paint. So we're going to pick a dark green around there. With that selected, we'll find a nice mid-grey in there and fill. That's going to be our bottom layer. Now, the layer for the stripes. So we can hide this layer that we've just created and create a new layer above it. And we want the stripes to be yellow. So pick a yellow colour there. This time we're going to turn the tolerance down to 20, which means it's not going to fill in as much of the colour. We find our mid-grey and press fill. And you can see that because I've turned the tolerance down, there are more gaps. And we'll hide that one as well. Create another layer. Now we're going to create the paint for our text layer. And we want it to be an off-white colour. So a sort of grey with a slight hint of yellow in it. Press OK. And again we look for mid-grey colour. And we've got everything as set before, and we press fill. And we've got a light colour with lots of gaps underneath. So we'll just hide that layer, and we'll highlight our original green layer. Now we want to start cutting it up using the elements that we created before. And we can use these layers even though they're not visible. So with the main paint layer selected, we can press Ctrl and press on our large rectangle, and that selects everything inside where the rectangle is, but we want to select and delete this area around here. So we'll go to Select and Inverse and press Delete. There we go. Next we want to get the stripes layer up, so we'll hide our green under there and we'll bring the yellow forward. Now again we want to hide anything that's outside of this box here. So I've just pressed Control click on there to select everything inside. We don't want to do a inverse select, and with the yellow layer selected, press delete. And with the yellow layer still selected, we press Control and select the small rectangle and press Delete. So now we've got a yellow rim around everything. Next, we want to press Control and click on the stripes, and that selects everything that's in the stripes layer, and press Delete. Now we have yellow stripes going all the way around, and we have our green layer underneath. We'll hide those two layers, and we'll bring our white layer forward. And this is for the text. So with that layer selected, we're going to press Control and click on our text, and that selects everything inside the text. So we want to do an inverse select and press Delete. Now we've got the numbers with their paint effect on there. Now if we show all the layers together, we have our numbers, we have our stripes, we have our green paint. We don't bring these elements forward, but we will bring this forward here. And that will be our texture for the diffuse slot in 3D Studio Max. So we've got all our paint layers, and if I zoom in, you should be able to see that the yellow matches the green, or as if it has been painted over, but it has been scraped away on top. And the same with the white. You'll notice that the white matches up with the little gaps where you can see the metal underneath, and it's not interrupted by the green. So there we are, we've got our texture map. So on the next part of the tutorial, we're going to go on to create a normal map and a specular map, so that we can then put this into 3D Studio Max and render it out.